Hello. Um, the question is, it is a little ambiguous, but if you're in like a brainstorming phase and you want to see what's out there, this is how I would go about it. I do send out videos to people, but I'm happy to Zoom or meet you in person, and we can do this on like a big conference room monitor too. But this is just to get you started. So what I did is I wrote down some of the keywords, and I did an initial search where I'm just kind of like, well, who's talking about this? And I know you said Utah, but there's a lot of different um, faiths, religions, beliefs in Utah. So there's a lot of different aspects. It doesn't have to be just one specific religion. I moved my bird feeder because I have a squirrel and I just saw a flock of birds. Sorry, distracted at home. So your keyword is really great though, faith transition, because that's something that shows up in like counseling of a variety of sorts. Faith, if I could spell it right, faith transitioning. There's all sorts of people who are looking at that, talking about that. But this is out in the popular world. So when I say popular world versus the scholarly world, popular world is where people are like, well, this seems like a problem. We kind of have anecdotal evidence, and the rigors of evidence are not necessarily as big of a part as like a culture or an identity or any number of different influences. So when we go into the scholarship, are they going to call it the same thing? Well, let's look. Faith transition. One thing you can do is do a general search in all of the resources the library represents. So every college, every department, every major, minor, certificate, discipline represented in about 70 to 120 million things. Book chapters, books, a lot of articles, some scholarly, some not. But what are they calling it? This is one place where you could start. What I did here is I didn't want to find a resource. I wanted to find what they were talking about in all the resources with this. So, sassy faith. There's all sorts of people who are going to be talking about this. So we didn't even need to go into Utah yet, because I want to find out, is there a convention where somebody talks about it in psychology or sociology? Those would be the first places. And we'll go to that in just a minute. So there's different ways of talking about it. So there's faith transitions, but there's also leaving religion. There's faith as a keyword, faith in the transition, losing faith. And so as you go, let me go back to that keyword. As you go, write down keywords. There's two ways of searching. One, where you can search for something where keywords are stuck together. And if you put that in quotes, you could see that in the same search. So if I did leaving religion in quotes, it would look for those two keywords stuck together. And that might give us a different pool of things. Look, there's a handbook of leaving religion. How timely. Deconversion. All sorts of words that you can write down. Do those matter to you? Is the important thing when you're doing your bibliography or research, is write down the things that matter to you and are valuable to the culture or the community or the population that you're looking at. So some of these, like Handbook of Leaving Religion, sounds kind of not reverent, whereas faith transition might sound like it's a little more sensitive. So what do we do if we want to throw all those keywords together? Oh, let me show you this one too. I'll show you that in the advanced search. So if we go to the library homepage, from this search, you can also go over here to advanced catalog search. And this is where we can throw everything in one big pile and see if we can narrow it down or expand it or see what else is out there. It's going painfully slowly. So in the advanced search, I could do, so I did leaving, and then in another line, so you see this and right there, in another line, I could do church. So what I could do is throw all of those keywords in there. Leaving or losing or transition. Whoops. Transition. If I do a star, that'll do or transitioning. Leaving or losing. Crisis. Oh Lord. Or crises. So you can write all of the related terms for that similar idea. Leaving, losing. That's a lot of synonyms. Or religion, or what else we got? Faith, religion, church, or faith. Okay, now that's a lot of stuff. In this advanced search, you can narrow it down to articles or specific years. If you want to avoid the older stuff, I'll often just look in the last 5 years. What's happened in the last 2 years? It feels like it's too narrow, but there's millions of things written every year, so I think we can be confident in saying there's going to be a lot. Yeah, there's 7,000. What you do at this point, this is not a smart search, so it's not guessing what you're interested in, because it doesn't know your cookies or your physical location or anything like that. The only thing that it's searching from is the information that you stuck in up at the top. So what you can do is you can see what are people talking about. And it looks like there's, oh, there we go, gaining faith, losing faith. This, if you find one thing that looks, so you'd be just cruising through this, gathering, almost like a bear going through a forest looking for something to eat. You're just kind of browsing through everything. So there's going to be a lot of sticks and twigs. And every now and then there'll be like a berry or a salmon, if we will. What you do if you find something good is go in and see how are they talking about this topic. And that's where you can find the bits and pieces that you're looking for. And you write those down as you go. Whether you write it down in paper or using electronic doesn't matter. But if you record those, then you can start to cumulatively build a body of knowledge on this topic, and you can start to discern which ones are going to work and which aren't. So decline in religious participation. I didn't think about that. Gaining faith, losing faith. And you can also look at the author, ironically called creator. Okay, that's how you dig around for some keywords. Let's do that same search in a database that has sociology articles. So under databases right here, you can go under a variety of disciplines like education, psychology, sociology. So let's go to sociology, because a lot of people in society are talking about this. You can look up religious studies too, but that is more the study of the religion itself, nuances, history, anthropology, clerical, meaning, culture. So you might find some stuff in there. But it's the social sciences, sociology, maybe even psychology. So sociological abstracts, we'll try this database. We'll do a similar search. So this is looking at aspects in society. Oh, I forgot, on that main one, you can put in Utah, but it's going to be, or you could put in the name of a religion too. So let's do that. Let's see what we find first. Let's do that search again. Leaving, or, uh-oh. It's still loading the page, and I bet it's going to delete everything I just typed. Oh, no. Okay. Leaving or transition, or what's the other ones? Oh, losing. And then let's do and religion or faith. Oh, and there it'll tell us some other ones. So it looks like religion and faith are the big ones. Okay, so we're in sociology, and we're in scholarly articles, and we can even click this peer-reviewed checkbox to make sure they're all good. and scholarly and representative of a sociological academic point of view. Oh, oh, 37,000. I have to I have to laugh because that isn't narrowing it down at all. So let's add a religion. Catholic or let's add Catholic. It's almost funny how many tens of thousands were in there. Wow. So let's go to a specific religion. Oh, that pares it down. Let's go to a specific place. Let's try. So you might not find something that talks specifically about Utah. In the grand scheme of things, there's not a lot of people that live here, and sociologists like bigger populations. But let's see what happens. So you might have to look and see what's happening in a particular area and then apply that to what's happening in Utah. Oh, there's still 1,000. Oh, cool, there's one. Oh. Well, shut my mouth. Maybe these are going to be good. So the databases that I'd recommend that you try. Oh, by the way, if you find something that's pretty good and you get too many search results, if you go down on the side into the sorting options, if you go to subject or keyword, depending on the database, they might give you an outline to your bibliography. We could say politics, so there's gender, social construction of family, culture, minorities, marriage, racism, etc., etc., etc. So you can see how things shake out and what you might break out into the story that you talk about. Other databases that I'd recommend. I didn't think it would be so easy. So your job is to narrow it down. Other sections that I would recommend are psychology, that religion one. And there's also a great one that's just in general called Academic Search Ultimate. This is mixed with a lot of magazines and pop stuff that's not scholarly, but you can narrow it down, and this kind of pulls from all different disciplines. But I think those will be the big ones to start with. Let me know how it goes, and have a nice afternoon.